Okay, this is Toni Weel. Welcome to our live podcast with Sara from Virtuous Unicorns, of course. And we had our guest Tom Braddick on, but he disappeared just now. Just a minute I put it on live, but I'm sure he is going to be back. Well, at least I hope so. Otherwise, our special guest is not there today. And we have Grant on. We missed him for a few weeks, but we all always like his positive energy and his laugh. So we'll see that Tom is back on. I was following Tom for a while with his pretty much daily, if not more, messages about being a fruitarian, the healing with fruitarian, and they were always spot on and actually right in your face, and that's what we kind of like. So we chatted a little just before the call, and I'm happy to have him on so he can talk about his journey. I'm happy to have Sara back on, who just had quite an ordeal with a running away trailer that she had to chase, but she's okay and she made it on the call, so that's great.
Yes, hi everyone.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm happy you're okay.
Me too.
Yeah,
you never know what I'll be up to, huh?
No, it's same goes here every day. At the end of the day, I'm always surprised how everything worked out so perfectly. You know, you have all these hurdles that you have to overcome, but at the end of the day, you look back and it was like it all worked out like a charm.
Yep, it does.
And even the hurdle that we have to take, there's always a lesson in it. And we talked about that before, like being in the now, being, consciously, being aware of what you're doing. And it's interesting. So Tom, every time I look at the name and I see your name, I am almost calling you by the wrong name. So it's like, it's Tom. Tell me, how did you actually get on that road to being a fruitarian? Because if I mention my own, the first time I heard about a young couple who was traveling the world and being a fruitarian and going everywhere to sample out whatever fruit was available in that season, I was like, oh, interesting, but no way. And now I'm like, yeah, it is so natural, and why didn't I know that before? For me, it's only and maybe 6 years that I heard about it, in the last 4 years that I'm following it. So how was your journey with that? How did you get to it?
Well, about it's been about 8 years. I mean, I've always been into health. I'm a virgin, so I've always been health conscious for the most part. And about 8 years ago, started having some major, aches and pains. I mean, I wasn't holding gas for about 30 years. I just got out of it last year. I kind of retired out of it, but lifting, quit doing calibration type stuff, and I was getting super bad tendonitis. I mean, my elbows and shoulders would just burn. Like when I was asleep, it would just burn like crazy. And I started trying to find out I was getting dream.
Tom, I don't want to interrupt you, but I can barely hear you. It sounds very low for some reason.
If it's on there.
Let me make sure everyone can hear you.
I got my earbud with Wi-Fi buds. How about now?
Toni, can you hear him well, or does he sound muffled as well?
Yeah, it is a little muffled, and maybe if you can get a little closer to the microphone on your laptop.
Yeah, it should be from my earbuds. How about now?
Yep. Try again.
Better?
Yep.
Okay. So sound good there then? Oh, I wonder if it's picking up background noise.
I was gonna say too, maybe your microphone might, because sometimes my microphone doesn't pick up my earbuds, and I have to always make sure it does right next to the mute button.
Let's see here.
And make sure it's on the right one. because we definitely want to hear your story.
Yeah, it's definitely muffled.
I thought I'd take the dang earbuds off. It's like I'm kind of a tea shop in the back. That might be background noise. Does it sound that bad?
Sounds like you're getting a little louder.
Okay. I think I wonder if I should be closer to the dang thing. Okay. How about that?
Let's try roll with it and we'll see.
I was saying that about 8 years ago, I was dealing with a lot of tendonitis. And again, from a weightlifting background, played football in school. Um, I could not figure out what was going on with me, and I just tried everything. I was a big, meat eater. I preferred more of a steak, kind of thing. And so I started really going lean. Maybe I was thinking, well, maybe it's the bread, maybe it's the cheese, maybe it's everything else that I'm eating. And when I finally found out, of course, I found Dr. Morse, and kind of got on his program. And I started to I started buying grapes. I was buying one watermelon every single day. I think one year started kind of late, but I bought like 275 watermelons in just that one year. And I would split it up throughout the day. But I started doing that, and within 3-4 days, all the pain was gone. I mean, literally, I was suffering for about 4 years. And I was like, damn, this is my hands are my job. And when I did that, it would have been 3 days. I didn't even realize it. And I started kind of moving my arms around, like something was weird. I started moving my arms around, and it didn't hurt. Nothing hurted. And I was like, okay, maybe he has something to this, So I started digging into it and started listening to his videos and started kind of studying under him. And when I'm working, I have a home repair business, so my job is very physical, and I'll be 52 this year, so I needed something. And when I'm at work, when I'm doing it at my clients' houses, I'm listening to Dr. Morse, and it's just like secondary, like reiterating, making it second nature to me. So when I hear people talk to me and they're telling me about elements or this or that, I instantly zoom into what it is. It's second nature to me now. So sometimes it's hard talking to people because they want to hold on to what they think their pain is. Oh, it's because of this. It's because of that. I can't get it. It's genetics, whatever. I said, yeah, it's genetics. We're predisposed to certain things. But the problem is you need to find what the origin is. There's symptoms of everything, but it's the same exact cause, and that's acid. That's the hardest thing to get through to people. It's like they stress themselves out all day long, worried about this, worried about that, worried about this. Like, look, eliminate everything you learned in school. Forget about it. Everything you've learned. It's pretty much just force. It's not what we need to know. And when you do that, your mind opens up to the ability to hold information, but correct information. Let go of the bull and allow the correct information to settle. And your life just simplifies when your mind is relaxed. You're just like, people are like, how do you do it? How do you do all this stuff? Well, I let go of all the bad stuff. I let go of all the false information. But nonetheless, where I am today was taught my son. I got him doing fruit about 5 years ago. He'll be 21. And he's learned that every morning he'll take a bowl of fruit. And then he'll have his breakfast. Because he's kind of thin. And he'll have his breakfast. And then for lunch, he'll have another big bowl of fruit. And then he'll have his lunch. And at dinner time, he always has a big bowl of fruit before he goes to bed. To hydrate interstitial fluids and keep his symmetry correct. And it allows him to have the tools and the hydration to clean out at night so that you can have an amazing PM in the morning, But as far as that's where I am now. And I come across people all the time, our paths cross. And I believe that's what God has for us to do, is to help each other. You come across somebody's path for an exact reason. I have so many clients. As soon as I meet them, they have these issues that are exactly what I'm crossing their path to maybe help out with their house and with their body. But nonetheless, every time I go back or want to cheat or whatever I want to do. No, I know exactly what's going to happen to me. And that's what it does. So as far as that, I mean, kind of where I am right now, I'm very busy, very physical, but I don't feel it anymore. I mean, I have to go to bed at 2 in the morning just to tire myself out. And I get up about 6, I guess. But it's just an amazing one. I mean, I want to share it. And that's how you can tell who the good people are in life, is the ones that want to share it. Not for money, not for popularity or anything, just to be able to help somebody alleviate their pain. God will take care of it in the end. We get our blessings back, our karma, good or bad. So it's always best to stay on the good side. But as far as that, that's about where I am now.
Now, what would you say are your struggles? Are you able to completely stick with it? Really live it? Because a lot of us, including myself, do have problems with it. So how do you deal with that?
I have my toxic. What I do is I tend to about 85% pure fruit, and occasionally on the weekend. I mean, I post. If you ever look at my Facebook post, you'll see meals and things that make. I want to let people know I'm normal. I'm not this guy that's just 100% fruit. I'm willing to put up with certain ailments to live a normal life, but I love fruit. I always run back to fruit. If I start cheating, and when I say cheating, I'm talking about like I go to some place, they'll have like a gluten-free waffle or gluten-free upside down pineapple pancakes or whatever, or these banana pancakes that they make it out of bananas. I'm going to get you that syrup. But I do that and I go right back to, it's like I need, like, when you're craving water after exercise, that's how I feel about grapes or watermelon. Crave it that bad, I just run back to it. But one thing it does when I cheat, though, is it really causes my body to eliminate. It's almost like it's a hit to me. So you'll cheat, and the next morning you have this crazy, outrageous, amazing BM. It's exactly what you want. But I try to tell people, don't look too far in the future. Just handle today. Today I'm going to have, a big old blueberry, banana, pineapple, smoothie with maybe a little bit of vanilla, plant-based protein, a decent protein. Not that we need protein. I'm so physical that I'll take anything extra that I can, especially alfalfa sprouts. That is muscle food beyond anything. But I just base mine on how my lifestyle is. But again, I'm about 85%. I love a good calf latte. I don't hold from that. I try to stay away from caffeine almost completely, with the adrenals, back in shape again. But it's just a matter of every morning, start your day with fruit or a fruit smoothie. And then you can be a little lenient, for lunch. And that way it can kind of keep you happy, keep you interested, and on track. Then for lunch, I tend to have whatever I want to have, avocado, maybe some grain-free chips, plantain chips. I might have some of those bars, snack bars that they have, plant-based protein type stuff, just to kind of hold me. But people would not believe how much I eat. I mean, tell them I can snack on about $75 worth of snacks just for the day only. Got to be careful with, because I'm on the road a lot, so I keep a cooler with me. And I'll just throw my grapes in there, put one of the little ice packs. And I always have a bushel of bananas, maybe 4 or 5 bananas. I'll have, mangoes, those dual date. That's correct, but the dates are what keeps you feel, because you don't have to be full. You just have to be satisfied. And the secret to it, my secret, is never allow yourself to get too hungry. If you do, you're going to make stupid mistakes. So just stay satisfied all day long and don't even think about it. It's like, I don't even think about it. A burger or a pizza or whatever. Now, if friends want to go out somewhere, yeah, I may occasionally do like an artesian type flatbread pizza or whatever, and I know I'm going to feel it. But I'll just go ahead and do that because I want a social life too. But again, my secret is never let yourself get too hungry. It's like anything. Never let yourself get too anything. because you'll make mistakes by that. The body wants what it wants. But if you don't, you know, put yourself in that situation, it's like going to a dealership to look at a car. You know what's going to happen. You're going to walk out with a brand new car. So you have to make sure that you're constantly snacking, even if it's having just a banana hold you for an hour and a half, or a couple, put in majule dates, or anything to keep you from going overboard. And your mind will stay there. And then once your body starts to realize that, man, this fruit is doing me good, that's the point where you start to fall in love. But you have to get to that point where your body knows it wants it, not just you. Because you have that duality where you're, constantly going back and forth with the good and evil side. You see a Twinkie, you're in the corner store. Oh my God, I don't need it. Yes, I do. I don't need it. No, yes, I do. And you'll just grab it, go buy it real quick, and open it and eat it real fast. But that's because you didn't make peace with yourself. You got to tell yourself, hey, I'm going to eat this, and I'm going to go right back to my normal thing. But I want to eat this to get it out of my mind. I want to get it out of my, versus trying to do so fast that you don't have time to feel guilty about it. So you just do it as fast as you can. That's what you're trying to avoid. Talk to yourself and say, hey, I'm going to eat this today. I deserve it. I haven't done it in a while. I'm just going to eat it and I'll be fine. And then you are in peace with yourself. So that's kind of how I handle things. I don't do a muffin person. I love blueberry muffins. The real, gourmet ones, not just ones you buy in the freaking store. The ones that they homemade, at the 50 stores or whatever. So I'm kind of a pasty person. I have a sweet tooth, and that's why fruit works so well with me. But again, I have my balance, and I'm gonna be, I'm, in the world, as they say, but I'm not of the world. But I don't play the games of the world. But I have to, enjoy my life each and every day, and I will do that. But I just learned how to do it in a mind clearing, painless. That's just the only way that we can do it. If you got to play the game, if you have to be here, you might as well, do it in an authentic way. So, as far as that's concerned, that's my secret, is just not getting too hungry. Always have food and things around you, or a quick snack or something that you can have around you. So once you get to that point where, you get too hungry, you're done. I guarantee it. So that's kind of the thing of what people should practice. Don't get too hungry. Otherwise, we're gonna fail every single time. And people will eat breakfast and they'll go like 4 or 5 hours of nothing. And then they're so hungry. They're like, I'm so hungry. They'll go grab a burger, or they'll go grab something else. So that's kind of the thing that I do, is I'm never hungry. I'm always satisfied about 90% of the day. So
How
if that
long
makes
have
sense.
you been? Yeah, how long have you been on this journey?
About 7, 8 years.
And do you do any juicing whatsoever?
I'm not really a juicer, unless it's like if you're gonna do something like greens or something like that, you want to I keep my greens separated from my fruit. Like, people like to throw spinach and things like that into their fruit smoothies, but I separate them. I might do like a green, you can blend the heck out of it, just kind of juice it down to break it where you don't have to chew so much, once it's blended, you can absorb it easier. But I separate the two because they digest at different rates. And you'll notice that when people eat a meal before fruit, like we were taught as kids, fruit was a dessert. So when you do that, you're gonna get bloated. You're gonna feel like, because your fermenting fruits that digest in 15 or 20 minutes are behind the whatever heavy you had, a starch, meat, or burger, or whatever you had. So now you have something that's just breaking down quickly and fermenting, while that meal you have in front of it is going to take 25 hours to digest. And then they blame the fruit for making them feel bad. Well, fruit makes me bloated. No, no, no. It wasn't the fruit. It was what you had before the fruit. That that slow digesting meal held up and quick, dynamically digesting food that was behind it. So now you're just feeling the gases from the expansion of fermentation. And then, in front of, and in fruit that, you're going to have putrefaction.
Exactly.
So,
Well, what I was getting at was juicing, because we do a lot of orange juicing, and
oh
I
yeah,
found that when I'm on orange juice or watermelon juice or anything like that, I'm not hungry. Like I still have not eaten yet today, but we've also talked on a previous show too. Like I've been out in the sun all day working as well. And so there was another little hypothesis type thing that, are we getting nutrients from the sun while we're working as well?
sure.
But my question then too, with the juicing, if you're still feeling hungry, have you tried juicing and putting that in there to make your maybe hydrate you a little bit better too with just the pure juice? Have you ever tried anything like that?
I love doing that. Actually, I don't know where everybody is, but I'm in Houston, Katy area, Texas, and we have HEB, not to advertise for anything, but they have like cold pressed juices in this one area where the produce is. It's not like that crap you buy in the refrigerated section where all the orange juice and all that is.
Right.
This is stuff that's cold pressed stuff. They have watermelon juice, tangerine juice, orange juice, lemon juice, raspberry juice, all juices. And I don't crave water. I really don't drink water at all unless I'm having like a hot tea or something. But I go get those juices, and after a long day, I'll pick up, and now they're not cheap. I mean, you get probably like a maybe 20 ounces for about $6, but it's straight up what I need to get my electrolytes, to get my riboflavin, flavonoids, and get that dynamic energy. I'm telling you, like the last 2 days, I've been working on this gigantic chicken coop. It's gonna be a custom one too for a client. It's like 12 feet by 8 feet, and it's like 8-foot ceilings. And I've been on this ladder up and down all day long for 2 days, from the morning until probably 8 at night. And like I said, I'm in my 50s already, and I don't even feel it. The guy's like, "Dave, what do you do?" And that's an amazing introduction to what I do. And I was like, "Look," I said, "you're getting synthetic, energy from your adrenal glands being tricked by eating meat or whatever it is you're doing. I get dynamic energy. It does not go away. Sometimes you got to slow down with the like going on a good fast. Like you can do like a good long orange fast or a grape fast, and you will have so freaking much energy. And I'm not talking about jittery, nothing like that. I'm talking about lively minded, just full spirited. It's crazy. But yes, to answer your question, I love that. I love buying that pure, but I like the pulp too. It's like some people, they juice away the pulp. I like all of it. I used to have a juicer about 20 years ago, I guess. And I used to juice things, and I would take all that pulp and would throw it right back into the juice. And I believe that's for a purpose too. God didn't make, us to just have one thing or the other. Each component, works its way in your body.
Yep. No, we love the pulp as well. We fresh juice ours when we have it available to do. But no, that sounds amazing. We do have a question in the comments from God's Girl 222. They're saying, can you discuss the science behind this quote diet?
And now as far as that, what people have to look at is, I don't care that we're able to eat different things. Okay, our body is designed to survive. So whatever you have to do to survive, that's what you have to do. But if you want to understand how the body the original species food for our body, then we can talk. Yes, you can have different things, and it will keep you alive, but you'll not live to your potential, and you will suffer the consequences of acidosis. Because if something is difficult, this is my thing to help somebody understand. Okay, if whatever you're eating, put it in a giant pitcher or a blender, and blend it up to a puree, and keep doing that until you fill an entire swimming pool. Okay, Once you fill that swimming pool up, go and swim in it. Now, if it's difficult for you to swim across that pool, so is it for your cells that are floating in interstitial fluids. So if the cells cannot move, the interstitial fluids move around the cells, how can they clean the waste off of the cell? The cell can't go to the restroom. It's like the here we have the Guadalupe River in Central Texas, and they float with the inner tubes. It's a Cold Springs water, and they're all floating. And thousands and thousands of people. They're drinking beer, and they're using the restroom in the water. But where does that acid go? The river carries it away, the same as your interstitial fluid carries the waste away from your cells, so the cells remain healthy. So if you're blending something, if it's potatoes, imagine mashed potatoes, a whole swimming pool of mashed potatoes. Can you swim through that? Nor can your cells, the interstitial fluid. So think about watermelon, think about grapes, think about any other watery food. It's so thin, energetic, powerful for the amount of calories they would say it is, but that's what keeps us clean. That's why they call fruit the cleaner. If you want to start building up, then you can start doing alfalfa and a lot of cilantros and parsleys and a lot of those detoxifiers. They're also for the muscle, and you cannot argue with a silverback. Look at a silverback. The largest one in captivity was 600 pounds. 6'1", 600 pounds, and they would watch this animal, and he would just like walk around and grab a big branch that broke off of a tree that was about 2,500 pounds, just pick it up and start walking with it. This animal does not eat protein. He eats berries, fruit, sometimes twigs and whatnot of branches from trees, but yet he's the strongest animal in the world, pound for pound. But it's because they don't live with acidosis. Their muscles are solid. They don't have, see, most of the time when people get injured, especially athletes, they're so acidic that they tend to have these constant, hamstring pulls, injuries, pec tears, whatever else. It's because the body's so acidic that it never truly heals itself. And that's the problem. In this, like with me, I'm knocking on wood here. I haven't been injured, in a long, long time. But when I've taken some falls, I'm talking about, 25-foot falls and landed on the driveway, concrete driveway, and walk away from it, But it's because I believe that I was built a certain way, and I was built as a child. I was just talking earlier about a child. As a child, I could not drink milk. And I think that these are signs of who we're going to become, because people never get off their butts unless they find themselves in pain. And that pain is what I'm trying to let people know. Look, you don't have all of these symptoms and ailments and diseases and cancers and things that the doctors are telling you. It's not that. It's acidosis. Everything, every pain. Because there's only two chemistries in the world: acid and base. That's it. So you cannot go with anything else. And then again, you have to look at it from the perspective. You have acid and you have base. Acid is going to be the destructive, but you do need acids, minor, to help break down old cells. And, for women, they need acids to trigger their menstruation. Acids serve a purpose, but you do not want to be to the point where you're overwhelmed by them and your body starts to store them because you're not eliminating. When I say store, I mean creating sacs where the body starts to put in these acids, cellular acids in these sacs. And if you do not change that diet, that sac is going to grow. And I've seen people that had over 100-pound tumors, and all it is a sac of lymphatic acidic trash that you're not eliminating because your interstitial fluids are dry. Your body's not able to remove this stuff, and people get lymphoma, and their legs and ankles swell up because and it just drives me insane. I just want to help them. Like, look, then they get angry with you because you're messing with an emotional topic of food. And trust me, I'm a foodie. I love different kinds of food. I love Indian. Oh my God. But the point is there's a time and a place for all of these things. But getting back to the question, you have to understand a few things, and you can simplify your life. And that is, number one, do not let yourself get too hungry. Number two, shoot snacks all the time. I go shopping at least maybe every other day to every 2 days, just enough to get me, what I need to have. Um, Keeping food constantly around you doesn't take much. You can stop anywhere and grab, I might pay a little more for bananas at a corner store, but heck, if you just grab a banana instead of getting something else, I'll do it. As far as juices and things, trying to find, even if you got to buy a fruit juice, making sure they're not, the whole corn fructose, syrup and all that junk. And test the muscle. If you do these things, test the muscle, test it. How does it make you feel? I mean, is it helping the clarity of thought? Is it putting you in a good mood? Because one thing I'll tell you, I was about the most aggressive person. I was back in the day. I was like, now I'm probably about 200 pounds. I'm 5'9", 200 pounds now. But back in the day, I've been, I played at 220. I played, middle linebacker, bench pressing over 400 pounds. 400 bench press. I was a very aggressive person from the meat, because meat makes you aggressive. I don't care what you think. Meat makes you aggressive. Hang around the front of, as long as you're not hungry, they won't look at you funny. As soon as they start to get hungry, yeah, game on. But look at any carnivore, look at any herbivore, look at any fruitarian. Now, these are very kind, gentle animals. They're not flesh. The only violent ones are the ones that seek meat. But again, what does a lion and a tiger and a panther? What do they all do? They go for the stomach, because the stomach is where all the pre-digested greens are that they need to soothe the stomach. They're so freaking acidic. And what happens to carnivores? They have to sleep all freaking day long, because it takes so much energy to break down protein. And you're thinking about it, if you invest $1 into meat, I'm going to get about 5 cents back on my investment, because I've wasted so much energy on my body trying to break down that meat, and I've lost about 75 to 80% of what I could have gotten from it, even though we don't get nothing from meat, but it just triggers your adrenal glands and that whole parasympathetic, sympathetic nervous system. But when I invest into fruit, I get about say I've invested $1 into fruit, I get about $20 back, because it took nothing, 15 to 20 minutes to digest. I hydrated my interstitial fluids. I filled myself with riboflavins and flavonoids. My electrolytes are down. I'm good, and I feel mentally good. I feel spiritually good. I feel emotionally good. And by doing that, that trips your body into the serotonin, into dopamines, into all these things that you can actually get high in life versus having to synthetically, live your life on caffeine, just crap like that. So point being is it's a non-question that yes, you can have whatever you want to eat, but I'd always suggest I'd rather have the original OME part that my body needs. I don't care that you can have something that's an aftermarket part that's a piece of junk that's going to break. I want to have with the original intent, the original design of food that my creator designed for me. That's all I can ask.
Yeah, the logic behind the eating fruit is when you look at it with all the other things, other foods, you need tools or you need condiments to make them edible. Fruit is the only thing that you can eat as is. So there is a certain logic to it for me. And no,
what I always kind of laugh at it, but look at the appendages of the body. Look at what we're given. Okay, so you have carnivores are obviously aggressive. They have sharp claws to hold their prey. They have pretty sharp teeth. If you were to stick your hand in a shark's mouth and you close that mouth, your hands are coming back out. It's serrated, it's pointed, sharpened teeth, etc. Okay, same thing with a tiger. If he gets a hold of your hand, you're probably not going to get it back in good shape. but they were born with the appendages that they need. What does a human need to eat? We need a knife. Why did God give us the ability to have something natural of our appendage to shear through meat? Now, notice, people keep saying they have canines. Your teeth are shovels. They're smooth shovels. So your teeth are designed to bite through an apple, or pear, or plum. Your molars are designed to mash bananas, mash fruit, mash whatever it is you're eating. You're not designed to eat wrong, but they're not designed to. And the ones that tell me, I've been doing it, my whole life. Yes, but you're not comparing it to how you feel. You're aching, your pains, you're having all types of ailments, but you don't put it to where it needs to go. You're telling yourself, I must have worked hard. I must have tripped. I must have slept that. That's why my neck hurts. Oh, I must have done this. I must have, no. It's because your body is acidic. And the neat part about it is when you are able to get yourself alkaline and hydrated, you don't feel pain. And when you don't feel pain, you find yourself not how do you want to call it? Like you're free. The only thing that reminds us that we live in this physical world is pain. If you ever had a toothache, you know what I'm talking about, or a headache. It reminds you that you're here constantly. But when you're not in that state of mind, you are free. You're free to almost just travel. It's if you want to call it that. You're able to think. You're able to dream. You're able to do all types of things without a constant reminder of being stuck here because my body hurts. But nonetheless, if people just look at their appendages, they'll find out that you are not a carnivore. You are not a herbivore. There's a lot of vegetables that I come across vegetarians that are more aggressive than carnivores. And when I mean that, cruciferous. I do not like cruciferous foods. I ate it when I was younger because my mom told me they were good for me. So I'd coat up my broccoli with cheese. At 16 years old, I knew that it was good for me. So you have to be careful. That's why people say that vegetarians look sickly. And it's not that they're sickly, it's that they're eating foods that are herbivore foods, not frugivore. So, yeah, they're not eating meat.
They're full of wood.
Pardon?
I said they're full of wood, the cellulose.
That's the thing is that they're when you don't eat, great. I'm happy for you. That kicks back a lot of the acids. Okay, but when you're eating tofu and cheese and potatoes, now trust me, my sister used to make the best garlic mashed potatoes. Oh my lord! But that's a comfort food for me. And I'm not going to tell you that I don't do it here and there, but I do. And I'm very open with people. I post things because I want people to know that I'm normal. I'm not some food person. I'm normal like you are, so you can do it as well as I can. But lose my train of thought there. But the point of it is that vegan or vegetarians look sickly because they're eating these starches, these compound carbohydrates. We need simple, single fructose sugar, carbon. Our body is carbon. And when you do that, I'll guarantee you this 7 days, let's do the 7-day challenge. 7 days. Wake up in the morning. I buy a lot of frozen fruit. I buy the 5-pound bag of blueberries. I buy as much frozen as I can. If I have bananas, they start looking like they're wilting, I cut them up and freeze them in freezer bags. But every day, make a frozen blueberries, use coconut water as your liquid, or you can use apple cider, apple juice, the real apple cider stuff. Use apple cider, not vinegar, the apple cider. Throw pineapples in there. You can throw some mangoes up, always a banana, and maybe some decent, some plant-based protein if you want to, whatever flavor. Just do that before you eat anything. First, give your body the hydration and the nutrients it needs to wake up from your fasting. Right? Fast, Just give it 7 days. Tell you not to stop eating what you're eating, but just add this to your meal first. Hydrate your interstitial fluids, and the body will be better able to eliminate. And One way you can tell is when people are doing their BMs. If you're showing signs that you sat on a warm brownie, that's not good. That means that you are internally taped up. It's not coming out. You want your bowel movement to be completely clean, because if your bowel movement is not completely clean when you clean yourself, that means that it's all stuck inside. It looks worse inside than it does outside. So the point is you're doing good when your whites are clean. Like a dog. A dog takes a dump. His blood is completely clean. Doesn't need toilet paper or anything. But nonetheless, these are signs that you're looking for. So always check to see the function of your kidneys. First thing in the morning, get your mason jar with a lid and keep it up the toilet and on it by the toilet. And take sample, close it up, and put it away. And if the next week, check it in 24 hours, and then check it again in 48 hours. And you want to see a bunch of sediment at the bottom. It looks like a white haze, and maybe like chunks of I don't know what you want to call it. It's like chunks of white, semi-transparent trains just floating around in the water. That is a good sign. That's what people want to see to let them know their kidneys are filtering. And this is, I don't know if y'all are on this topic or not, but I get a lot of people thinking about urine therapy. And I just don't even go there. If you're doing that, if you are drinking your own urine, you're not filtering. Because there's no way in the world you'd be able to drink urine when your kidneys are filtering. Number one, you wouldn't need to. They do it thinking they're healing themselves. And if you want to, you can pour urine on a damn jellyfish thing. The proteins in it will help. But you have an appendage to remove it from your body, not to recycle it. So if they are drinking it and they're getting benefits from it, it's because it doesn't have waste in it, because their kidneys are not filtering. Now, if your kidneys are filtering properly, you would never want to do that, because you're just putting in trash, acids, waste right back into your body again. How can that help you? They're just, oh, I've done it, it works. It works because you're not filtering. If you were filtering, your urine would be so nasty that you wouldn't even do it. And that's what I try to get people to look. I understand where you're coming from. Look, you can eat a hamburger and feel better about something. It's going to cause another issue. But this whole thing of urine therapy is, I don't care how many books they have written on it. You are not designed to drink your own waste. Unless, again, if you're not filtering, your kidneys are not filtering, you're in bad shape, you're just getting pretty much filtered water, in a sense, with some waste in it. But if you are filtering and your kidneys are working properly, oh yeah, you're gonna get sick. It's not gonna be good. The whole thing of you're in a desert and there's nothing else to drink, trust me. If you're dehydrated like that, you are probably filtering so bad, because when you're same thing as dry fasting, which I never tell people to do more than 24 hours. And people try to do it for a week. I said, look, that's not the point. I don't fast a lot because I eat so much fruit. So my body is always fasting. So these people that are doing these dry fasts, I do not suggest to do that for more than 24 hours. You're pushing it. Now you can food fast and just do juices, fruit juice. If you're saying the cold pressed fresh orange juice, grapefruit, whatever you want, as long as you're hydrating, because that is food. People don't get it. Liquids are food. That's what fruit is. It's usually 90-something% liquid. Nonetheless, hopefully that answered the question. There? Hello?
Are you talking?
Yeah.
I didn't know if you're talking to us or someone else.
No, we were
No.
you were on such a roll that we were just listening.
Yeah. I get like that sometimes.
Oh, that is good. We all have that. I mean, we're passionate about this. We know what works and what doesn't work. So yeah, we often get the question, what is the science behind the diet? And
Right.
it's like the science is us, the how we do on it, and
Right.
you can have all kinds of books written about everything. There are, if I look at my library with all the health books that I have, several I bought them because I thought I wanted them and I wanted to know about it, and then I had them and I haven't read it, and now I know
Right.
why, because it wasn't good for me. It wasn't the
Right.
information that I needed. But that was supposed to be the science for us to get healthier. And the science is so super, super simple. And we all want it complicated because that is what we have been taught.
I
And
agree.
that keeps, in a way, it kind of puzzles me, that we really don't want it simple. Like what you explained, what I started out with, it's like the meat is not meant for us. I mean, when you would have a pig in your, well, a pig or a lamb, the cutest thing ever, a little lamb in your house, and he said, okay, here's your food for tonight. Enjoy. Are you going to rip into it? No. Of course not. It's not working like that. You wouldn't be able to. You don't have the claws for it. You don't have the teeth for it. You will need a whole bunch of tools. Then you would have to tear in it. We cannot do that. It's not food meant for us. And besides, we don't have the digestive system for it. So I am beyond puzzled sometimes that people who have been, and even promoting this lifestyle and getting healthy, and then turn into a carnivore and getting more and more and more aggressive. And it's like, don't you see what you're doing to yourself? And we see that even in our community, even in the Dr. Morse community, Tom. I mean, we've seen it. And
Sure.
it is kind of sad that it's going that way. The best science is you. Do it, go on that fruit and see the difference. And it doesn't matter if you read 1,000 testimonials with people who have healed on this diet. Everybody is at a different level with their health. It's like, my body is probably way more acidic than someone else's, or someone else's is way more acidic than mine. What does my testimonial then means? It is all about doing it yourself and see how you feel. And like what you said, and it happened to me too. Within 2 weeks, that pain that kept me awake, from in my hands from the arthritis, it was gone. And if I get off my fruit way of living with something I shouldn't eat, the pain is back. What is that telling you? Body is still acidic. You still need to do more. So you are, in a way, your own doctor, and you
I agree.
have to listen to your body and really understand, why did you get to the point that you are at? We got diagnosed with, at first I thought there were 7,000 diseases, but that they came up with. And lately I learned it's 10,000 diseases. Can you imagine? We have that one little body, and they came up with 10,000 different diseases, and to probably add quadruple that in pharmaceuticals, if there is the word harm in it. Did you notice?
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
and it all suppresses. Yeah, it can suppress some of the symptoms, but in the meantime, I see people getting sicker and sicker. Now, it is known, because I talked about it often, I have severe arthritis. I don't want to really, it is part of my life. And I had it way before I started, even with Dr. Morse's stuff, but before I even know about what to do. And even on a raw diet that still had, high protein in plant protein, so nuts and seeds in it, and fats, it wasn't working for me. So I was still in pain. Leaving that stuff out, the pain was gone. So when you and what I was going to say is, I had a neighbor she's a few years older than I am, and she had arthritis, and she was on medication, and the medication, the pharmaceuticals for this type of arthritis is chemo pills. And she was like, well, I'm doing great on it. I don't have pain, until she got all kinds of sores in her mouth and on her face. And she was like, yeah, I cannot do this medication anymore. But hey, you can use it. It helped me. She is now in assisted living because she can't live alone anymore. You know,
My, I would say my definition of that is pretty much, um, uh, let me talk about chemo. Okay. I always see everybody. Well, you don't donate to chemo. You don't donate St. Jude's. You want to donate to all this stuff. I said, I'm sorry. I don't believe in, injecting all into children. But chemo is equivalent to you having a little fire, a grease like around the stove or something, say something, whatever. Little fire started that. So they decided to burn down the whole house to stop that little fire. That's what chemo is. It's literally, a 3% survival rate. And they don't get it. It's that when you look at it, this is things that I would tell somebody. It's like, let's talk about it. I want to show you what you're dealing with. So, okay, look, if the body, if our pH, if your blood pH starts to drop too much, and it gets below 7.3, something like that, you're going to be dead for 3 minutes plus or minus. So the body doesn't want to die. So the body wants to neutralize that acid, right? In the blood. The blood can't handle it, or the blood vessels will burn through and you'll bleed out eternally. So the body looks for it bicarbonate. I had a pool for 15 years. I took care of my pool. And if it did not take care of that pH, the pool would take care of it by itself. It would naturally balance itself. But do you know how it does it? Plaster. It steals bicarbonate calcium from the plaster. That's why people with swimming pools are constantly having to redo their plaster, because the pool is stealing the calcium from the plaster to neutralize itself. So the plaster cracks, and etc. Now, if you think of it, the body does the same thing. The body steals bicarbonate from the bone. And what do you get? Osteoporosis. What do you get when the body steals plaster from the myelin sheath of the nerves? You get shingles, herpes, whatever you want to call it. It's not a disease. It's chemistry. If it steals it from your veins, you get spider veins, varicose veins, etc. So the body is constantly stealing calcium that you really don't want. It's stealing from the parathyroid and the thyroid. That's going to be a problem. Thyroid controlling heat, weight, skinny, whatever you're going to be, cold, parathyroid, or your emotions. So when you have something stealing calcium from everything, now you're getting into unexplained depression. So they call it postpartum, because the baby has been stealing calcium for all this period of time. The body's trying to straighten itself back up again. So I like to tell them that. Then they start understanding. Oh, I understand exactly. So you might not be feeling bad after the hamburger, but it's because your body's stealing calcium from vital organs and glands to neutralize the acid. Keep doing, and watch what happens when you turn about 60. That's usually the point where things start to kick in. 50s to 60, and they don't get it. But the reason why you don't feel is because your body is stealing calcium from vital organs and glands to neutralize the acid you call. So, in essence, that's where the problem lies, is that it's only going to do it for so long. Your bones are going to become so brittle. The old saying that the lady fell down and broke her bone. It's not true. Usually, it's her bone broke and she fell down from osteoporosis. So all of these things, you try to get to people like, look, MS, any type of neuro type thing, cerebellum. Cerebellum communicates with the sacrum via the spinal cord, and it's communicating back and forth. So if your cerebellum is caked up with lymphatic mucus, then you stop communicating. And what happens to muscle? It starts to atrophy because it has nothing telling it what to do. So that's all it is. You have somebody with MS, you have somebody with dementia, Alzheimer's, all these different ailments, symptoms can be simply helped. I'm not saying anything else besides that, but you can help yourself by avoiding these issues by cleaning the mucus out of your lymphatic system in your head. That's half your problem right there. And they don't realize that lymph nodes and kidneys are not meant to be taken out. They're filters. You want to, I mean, it's like in the kitchen. When your kitchen trash can is full, you just throw the whole thing out, or do you clean it out and bring it back in, ready to use again? That's what our kidneys are for, you know, and kidneys, you know, dirty kidneys, what does that cause? Blood pressure. Just like on the old vehicles. Look at that oil pressure gauge. When your oil filter gets dirty, that oil pressure gauge rises. It's the same thing in your body. When your kidneys get back to the factory and get dirty, then the blood pressure is going to rise because the blood cannot stop. It goes first through the spleen, gets cleaned out and filtered, new red blood cells. Then it goes to the lymphatic river into the lymph nodes. They break it down from a 3 pH to a better 6 pH, less acidic. Then it can go to your kidneys to be filtered and via urine, bowels, and sweat. But you have to. So when you're having a problem with the urinary tract, as they call it, UTIs, no such thing, it's because your lymph nodes are not full of good beneficial bacteria like a septic tank to break down that acid. 3 pH. You pee 3 pH, you're going to be on your knees. And people think, oh, I got an infection. It's not an infection. It's chemistry. Get your lymph nodes full of good bacteria again. Fruits, lots and lots of fruit. I'm telling you, clean it, and it'll rejuvenate those septic tanks of yours, and they will break down that acidic waste up to a higher, less dangerous waste, and then you're able to filter it. But meat will destroy your kidneys. Period.
Yeah, it is the meat, the high proteins, and it has been pushed so much. Did you notice right now they don't call it in the recipes or in what is it on the internet, the cooking shows? They didn't call it meat anymore. They call it your proteins. Choose your protein. And then it is the whole word protein keeps being pushed and pushed and pushed even more. So it is absolutely crazy. Lisa, I really feel for you. I mean, being sick at such a young age, mine started, well, actually, I've been sick from birth and was considered, oh, such a healthy baby. I was not, but, you don't realize, now I realize what was going on. And it's like, oh yeah, I have bad genes. My mom has gallbladder issues, and I have thyroid issues. So yeah, I too have it too. And that is often the end of story. They give you the medication, and you have to take it for the rest of your life, not realizing that you're not healing anything whatsoever. And if they would, I haven't been going to doctors in a long time, but they had probably diagnosed me with so many different things. It's crazy, and probably get a dozen, if not more, pharmaceuticals for it. Well, we know that actually when we learn all this, we can be in control. And I would love to talk with you, Lisa. I sent you the link. I don't know if you've seen it. To set up an appointment. We start out with a free chat, and we can talk more about how I work, what we can do. I put together a 231 book ebook where I share all the articles that you also, most of it you can find on grapegate.com, and that it's GRAPGATE, grapegate.com. There's a ton of information there. Another very good resource is rawfigs.com. Tom, if you don't mind, I'm going to mute me because there is some background noise. And that easily distracts me. Sorry. Those are really good ones where you can find more information. You may have come here from the fence of Dr. Robert Morse ND group. In the files, there is a lot of information there. And I can get you as much information as you need to figure out, how to heal yourself, because that is the point. It is not, there are no pharmaceuticals that can heal you. There's not even a fruit that can heal you or a herb that really heals you. And your body is like a 24/7 healing machine. I mean, There's nothing out there that would heal you. But when you leave out all the stuff that makes you actually sick, and that's not only the food, that is also the way you live, the stress in your life, we've talked about this often. You need to have enjoyment in your life. And actually, Tom talked about that really beautifully, the way that he found balance in his life. And that is balance in everything, the food that you eat, what you can do, how far you have come in the gratefulness, and never look at like, oh my God, this didn't heal. No, look at what did heal. That is why I always suggest write down, that is why I have the health questionnaire. I think the link is even in the show notes. Fill that out, even if you wouldn't send it to me, send it to yourself. See where you are at now. Start with the fruit and get as much of the bad foods out of your diet. Write down how you feel, how you do day to day, and then in 3 months fill out another health questionnaire and then see what you heal. Because so many times I have people that after 6 months complaining, well, nothing has healed, and then we go over the health questionnaire, and then more than half of the symptoms were actually gone, and people didn't even notice it. Because that is the thing. When you feel good, you feel good. You forgot how actually, that goes fast. You forget easily how bad you felt before. But then you get stuck on that one thing that hasn't healed yet. Well, it's a journey. You just keep going. And there's no way back. Don't ever think like, I do this for 3-6 months and a year, and now I'm good. I can go back to the pastas and pizza. Yeah, maybe once in a while. But your body will let you know, like, if it's a good thing or not. It lets me know all the time. And I think many of us have experienced that. But you find a balance, and that is what Tom was talking about it too. It's and not feeling bad if you at some point I don't like to call it cheating. It's like sometimes you just have a meal for whatever reason. You may be with friends or you just feel like it. I mean, I felt like having a croissant. It was a vegan croissant. Yeah, it may be vegan, but there's still fat in it, and there's still, the grains in it. So is it good for me? No. But my gosh, did I enjoy that croissant? And that is just, you have to enjoy life. You have to, yeah, I could say have fun with it. But take some time every day to be grateful, to see the beauty around you, to be happy, despite all the physical issues that you may have, and it will get better. I absolutely 100%, 200%, how many percent you want, believe in it. It will get better, and you will feel good on the fruit. And I know there is a lot of, there are so many health books out there. I just mentioned that, I could fill a whole wall with all my health books, because it's not only the last 20 years, but probably my whole life. I've been buying books and finding what is the best way and how to be healthy, how to overcome this if I was not ignoring the symptoms that I had. From herniated disc and not being able to walk, and in my 20s being completely paralyzed from the neck down. No doctor knew what it was. Now I know what it was, and it had to do with food. It had to do that I poisoned my body by going from a very simple, strict diet actually into going through a traumatic event and going into sugar and alcohol, and my body just shuts down. It was like, well, you don't listen. Now you listen, which I did. So it can be a roller coaster at times, but that is why we are here. We're all here to help each other. And it's not only the practitioners, like, yes, I am a practitioner, but there are people in this group are not, and they can still help you. It is, that is the beauty of it. So I already put the link in. I put it at the top now to join us at our new social platform, where we will go in even deeper into that. There will be regular health posts out there I will have more practitioners listed there. If you don't want to talk to me, then you can talk to somebody else. But also we go into energy healing. You know, it's not only the food. There are more things there. Yeah, that's actually pretty much it. Yeah, like Sara said, you know, you found a path, and that is what comes first. And you know, everything happens for a reason. That for some people, that you showed up today here is your first step to healing. Because you know, it always happens for a reason. We
It
get
does.
together for a reason. So yeah.
It does. And what I wanted to put on that too, Toni, was that you may, and I'm talking to Lisa, so you may have had to go through this suffering for some reason. We just don't see the whole entire picture yet. And maybe one day you will realize it now that you have the eyes to see it. So that way you can take that experience and help other people and touch other people. And there are many practitioners out there, and all of us are basically talking about the same exact truth here, that it's the one true story we're all trying to share. Everybody just has a different take on it, and your energy might sync with another person. So you need to also try to reach out and touch people in the ways that you do as well, because your light might be a light that somebody else can see, and maybe they can't see our light. So it's just so important that we all play roles together and we all help each other. A lot of people, I'll use church for an example. There's a lot of like preachers out there. You go to one, you're like, that didn't really sit with me. Then you go and you listen to another one. They could be talking about the same exact stuff, but they just explain it in a different way that really sits with you. Maybe I shouldn't just say preachers, because we all kind of know how we feel about them, but we'll just say teachers then. So everybody has a voice and everybody has a way of sharing, and we are all very important in this whole entire journey to bring out the light and the truth. And all we can do is lead by example and just keep shining our lights for other people to find each other.
Thank you, Sara. You're beautiful again. It's just be the light. Grant, we haven't even gotten to you. Would you like to share something?
Oh, no, that's fine. I was just listening. I was enjoying listening to Tom talk. So, you know, and just enjoying the live, you know, it's all good. Y'all go for it. Whatever y'all want to do. I'm all good.
Well, we're glad to hear from you. We've missed you.
Yeah, well, I miss y'all too. Yeah, last week I was on, but you wasn't on, Sara. I came in late too. I was cutting grass and stuff, and I'm like, oh, what time is it? So yeah.
The day gets away from us when we're out in the sun.
Okay, we are at 1:11 again, so we make this the end of our podcast today. I am very, very grateful for everyone being here. I hope to talk to you all very soon, either by being here or talking with you on the phone or connecting with you on the gardenofeden.social. It's all beautiful. Much love to you all. Until the next time.
And Tom, thank you so much for all of your gnosis. We really appreciate you spending time with us. And Grant, thank you so much. And everyone in the chat, thank you.
And I hope to all see you again. And yes, Tom, it was wonderful to have you here. I didn't know what to expect, but I hope to have you on again, because you shared a lot of great stuff, and I love the way that you explained everything. And I definitely like your mud pool.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Much love.
Bye-bye.